First contact fallout. The Defiant glided silently through the void, its advanced stealth systems rendering it nearly invisible against the backdrop of Jupiter's swirling clouds. Captain Maya Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display, showing Europa's ice-covered surface. The ship's sensors had detected unusual energy signatures beneath the moon's frozen crust 3 days ago. After 72 hours of passive observation, there could be no doubt someone was mining Europa's subsurface ocean without Earth's knowledge or permission. "Magnify Sector 7, Maya ordered, her voice calm despite the tension coiling in her stomach. A hologram zoomed in, revealing artificial structures beneath Europa's ice. Machinery that hadn't been there during the last routine patrol 6 months ago. The designs were sleek, utilitarian, and definitely not human. "First Officer Liu, status report," Maya said. Commander Lai Liu checked his console before responding. "All systems at combat readiness, Captain. The Valiant and Intrepid are in position on the far side of Europa. The defense grid is activated, but in passive mode." Maya nodded. Humanity had suspected they weren't alone in the universe for decades. They'd been preparing accordingly, building a secret defense fleet and establishing military outposts throughout the solar system that were hidden from casual observation. The public knew about the civilian settlements on Mars and the research stations on the Moon, but the military installations on Europa, Titan, and scattered throughout the asteroid belt were classified at the highest levels. "Communications, open a channel on all standard frequencies. Let's introduce ourselves." Lieutenant Ortiz tapped her console. "Channel open, Captain." Maya straightened her midnight blue uniform. "This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet vessel Defiant. You are conducting unauthorized operations in Earth-controlled territory. Identify yourselves immediately." For several moments, there was only silence. Then, a flicker of light as a transmission came through. The bridge's main screen displayed a humanoid figure with iridescent blue-green skin, elongated features and eyes that seemed to catch and reflect light like polished gemstones. "This is Overseer Krell-Nax of the Valkyrie Consortium mining operation," the alien said, its voice translated into English with an oddly melodic cadence. "We claim these resources by right of discovery and development." Maya kept her expression neutral, though her mind raced. First contact, something humanity had prepared for yet still seemed surreal now that it was happening. "Overseer Krell-Nax, we welcome peaceful contact with your people, but I must correct your assumption. Earth has claimed this entire solar system for generations. Your presence without prior communication constitutes a territorial violation." The alien's gemstone eyes narrowed. "Impossible. Our preliminary scans showed only basic technology on your homeworld. You've barely established a foothold on your neighboring planet. By consortium law, undeveloped systems are open for resource extraction." "Your scans were incomplete," Maya replied evenly. "We request an immediate cessation of all mining activities and formal diplomatic contact through proper channels." Krell-Nax made a gesture that might have been dismissive. "The consortium acknowledges your claim to your homeworld and its immediate satellite. The rest falls under our jurisdiction now. We suggest you accept this arrangement. Resistance would be inadvisable for a species at your development stage." Maya exchanged glances with Commander Liu. This was following the worst-case scenario they had trained for, an advanced species attempting to exploit the solar system while dismissing humanity's territorial rights. "Overseer, I'll give you 1 hour to begin withdrawal procedures. After that, we will take appropriate measures to defend our territory." The alien's laughter was like tinkling crystal. "With what? Our scans detected your approach long ago. Your vessel is impressive for a developing world, but poses no threat to consortium operations. This conversation is concluded." The transmission cut abruptly. Maya took a deep breath, steadying herself. "Well," Commander Liu said quietly, "that didn't go as hoped." "No, it didn't." Maya tapped her console. "All ships, this is Captain Chen. First contact protocol has failed. Initiate defense pattern Omega. Activate all solar system defense grids. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations came to life. On asteroids, within the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, and in Earth orbit, weapons platforms and defense systems activated. Earth's true military capabilities, concealed for decades, were now being revealed. Tactical. What are we facing? Maya asked. Lieutenant Commander Jackson brought up a detailed scan. One large mining vessel, minimally armed. 3 patrol ships with moderate weaponry. They weren't expecting resistance, Captain. Let's keep the advantage of surprise, then. Signal the fleet. Full combat deployment. I want overwhelming force displayed before a single shot is fired. Within minutes, 12 Earth vessels decloaked around Europa, appearing seemingly from nowhere. The Valkyrie mining operation suddenly found itself surrounded by warships that, according to their intelligence, shouldn't exist. Maya opened the channel again. Overseer Krellmax, this is Captain Chen. As you can see, your assessment of our capabilities was mistaken. I'm renewing my request for your immediate withdrawal. The response came quickly this time. Krellmax's melodic voice, now sharp with tension. What trickery is this? These vessels were not detected in our system survey. That was by design. Maya replied. Earth has developed our technology with caution, knowing we might not be alone. We've hidden our true capabilities while preparing for this day. I'll ask one final time. Withdraw your forces peacefully. There was a long pause before the Overseer responded. We require time to safely shut down our extraction equipment. You have 3 hours. Any vessel remaining after that deadline will be considered hostile. The communication ended, and Maya allowed herself a small sigh of relief. Perhaps this could still be resolved peacefully. Her hope was short-lived. Captain, Lieutenant Ortiz called out. We're detecting energy buildups in the Valkyrie vessels. They're powering weapons systems. They're also transmitting on what appears to be a distress frequency, added Commander Liu, likely calling for reinforcements. Maya's expression hardened. So that's how they want to play it. Tactical, target their weapons systems only. Comms, broadcast on all frequencies. Let them know we're responding to their aggression, not initiating it. New contacts. Lieutenant Commander Jackson announced. 5 Valkyrie warships just appeared at the edge of Jupiter's orbit. They're moving fast, Captain. The bridge crew watched as the sleek, angular ships accelerated toward Europa, their design reminiscent of predatory sea creatures from Earth's oceans. They were waiting nearby, Maya realized. This wasn't a simple mining operation. It was a beachhead. The first shots were fired by the Valkyrie patrol ships, energy beams lancing out toward the Defiant. The Earth vessel's shields absorbed the impact without difficulty. Return fire, Maya ordered calmly. Disable their weapons systems. Earth's vessels unleash a coordinated barrage. Unlike the energy weapons the Valkyrie used, Earth's technology employed focused electromagnetic pulses designed to overload and disable electronic systems without destroying the ships themselves. The patrol vessels went dark almost immediately, their systems fried by the precision strikes. The mining vessel attempted to retreat, only to find itself trapped between Earth ships. A single targeted pulse left it dead in space, its engines disabled. The 5 approaching Valkyrie warships, however, presented a greater challenge. They were larger, better armed, and clearly designed for combat. All ships, form defensive perimeter, Maya commanded. Activate Jupiter orbital defense grid. Concealed weapons platforms embedded in Jupiter's Trojan asteroids powered up, their existence unknown to the Valkyrie until that moment. As the alien warships entered optimal range, they found themselves caught in a crossfire. The battle was brief but intense. The Valkyrie ships fought with advanced energy weapons that strained Earth's defensive shields. 2 Earth vessels sustained damage, but the combined firepower of the fleet and the defense grid proved overwhelming. Within 20 minutes, 3 of the Valkyrie warships were disabled. One was retreating. and the fifth had been destroyed after its reactor became unstable following a direct hit. "Captain," Commander Liu reported, "the Intrepid is reporting casualties. Medical teams are responding." Maya's jaw tightened. "Understood. Begin recovery operations. I want boarding parties on those disabled ships immediately. Secure any survivors and gather all the intelligence you can." She turned to Lieutenant Ortiz. "Prepare a message buoy with complete recordings of this encounter. Launch it toward Earth with priority clearance. The Security Council needs to know we've made contact, and that it wasn't friendly." As the aftermath of battle unfolded around Europa, Maya stared at the disabled Valkyrie vessels on her display. First contact had gone about as badly as it could have, but at least Earth had demonstrated it wouldn't be easily conquered or dismissed. "Captain," Commander Liu said quietly, joining her by the viewport, "do you think there are more of them coming?" Maya nodded slowly. "Almost certainly. What we've encountered is just a small part of this consortium. They've clearly dealt with developing worlds before, and they have an established protocol for it." She turned to face her first officer. "But they made a critical mistake." "What's that, Captain?" "They assumed we were alone and unprepared." Maya's expression was grim but determined. "Humanity has been expecting visitors for generations, Commander. We've built our defenses, hidden our capabilities, and prepared for both peace and war. The Valkyrie thought they were dealing with naive newcomers to the galactic stage." She looked back toward the view screen showing the disabled alien vessels. "They're about to learn how wrong they were." Hours later, as Earth's boarding parties combed through the Valkyrie ships, they discovered something that changed everything. Navigational data showing hundreds of star systems, many with inhabited worlds. And more concerning, records of dozens of resource acquisition operations on worlds deemed too primitive to resist. Earth wasn't the consortium's first target, but Maya was determined it would be their last. In the communications center of the Defiant, a captured Valkyrie communication device activated unexpectedly. A new voice, neither human nor Valkyrie, spoke in perfectly translated English. "Captain Chen of Earth, this is Elder Counselor Terra of the Galactic Council. The events in your system have not gone unnoticed. Prepare your representatives. The Council demands answers from both parties in this conflict." Maya exchanged glances with her officers. The situation had just become far more complex than a simple territorial dispute. "Respond as follows," she instructed the communications officer. "The representatives of Earth will attend, and we will bring evidence of the consortium's actions not just against us, but against other developing worlds as well." The galactic stage awaited, and humanity's first impression would be not as victims, but as defenders, not just of their own woe. Galactic repercussions. The Galactic Council chamber was unlike anything humans had ever constructed. Suspended in space at the gravitational equilibrium point between three stars, the massive structure resembled a crystalline lotus blossom, each petal housing representatives from different starfaring civilizations. Light from the three suns filtered through the translucent walls, casting ever-shifting patterns across the chamber floor. Ambassador Elena Reyes stood with perfect posture despite her awe, flanked by Captain Maya Chen and General David Okafor of Earth's Defense Force. They represented humanity's first official delegation to the Galactic Council, an honor they never expected would come under such contentious circumstances. "Remember," Elena whispered to her companions, "we're not just defending our actions. We're introducing humanity to the galactic community. And making it clear we won't be pushed around," added General Okafor, his deep voice barely audible. The chamber's central platform illuminated, and a being stepped forward whose appearance defied easy description. Nearly 3 meters tall, with a body that seemed composed of translucent layers shifting like ocean currents, only a vaguely humanoid shape suggested a head and limbs. "The Council recognizes Elder Terra of the Eldurians, presiding," announced an automated translation system that conveyed the words directly into each attendee's mind in their native language. The Eldurian's voice resonated with age and authority. We convened this emergency session to address the conflict between the Valkyrie Consortium and the newly contacted world designated Terra, known to its inhabitants as Earth. Elder Terra gestured to one side of the chamber. The Council recognizes High Minister Vorzax of the Valkyrie Consortium. A Valkyrie rose, taller than Overseer Krelnax had been, with deeper blue-green skin adorned with what appeared to be ceremonial markings. His gemstone eyes gleamed with barely contained anger. Honorable Council, Vorzax began, the Consortium comes seeking justice. Our legitimate mining operation in an underdeveloped system was violently attacked by a primitive species that had concealed its true technological capabilities. Murmurs rippled through the chamber as hundreds of representatives from dozens of species reacted to the accusation. 3 of our vessels were destroyed, and 27 Valkyrie lives were lost. Vorzax continued, his voice rising. This deception and aggression cannot stand. We demand sanctions against Earth and reparations for our losses. Elder Terra raised a translucent limb for silence. The Council recognizes Ambassador Elena Reyes of Earth. Elena stepped forward, her expression composed despite the weight of representing all of humanity in this moment. Honorable Council, she began, Earth rejects the Valkyrie's characterization of events. We did not attack them. We defended our sovereign territory after the Consortium illegally entered our system, established mining operations without consent, and then fired upon our vessels when asked to withdraw. She activated a holographic display showing the recorded exchange between Captain Chen and Overseer Krelnax, followed by footage of the Valkyrie firing first. As you can see, Elena continued, we attempted diplomatic contact. The Valkyrie dismissed our territorial claims and initiated hostilities. Vorzax snarled, a developing world barely capable of reaching its own moon has no legitimate claim to an entire star system. By Consortium law and practice, undeveloped resources are open for extraction. By whose authority? Elena countered. Earth has never agreed to Consortium law. We were never consulted or even contacted before mining began on Europa. The chamber erupted in overlapping conversations as representatives debated among themselves. Elder Terra eventually restored order. The question of first contact protocols is relevant, the Eldurian stated. High Minister Vorzax, did the Consortium follow standard procedures for initial contact with a new spacefaring species? The Valkyrie shifted uncomfortably. Our scans showed primitive technology. By our classification system, Earth qualified as a pre-spacefaring world with limited rights. We planned to make formal contact once operations were established. Captain Maya Chen stepped forward. With respect, Elder Terra, may I address this point? After receiving a nod of permission, Maya continued, the Consortium's assessment was flawed because we deliberately concealed our true capabilities. Earth has suspected the existence of extraterrestrial life for centuries. Rather than announcing ourselves prematurely, we developed our technology in secret, building defenses throughout our system while maintaining a public facade of limited space exploration. She activated another holographic display showing Earth's hidden military installations and fleet. We did this precisely because we feared encountering a civilization that might exploit us or dismiss our sovereignty, Maya explained. The Consortium's actions proved our caution was warranted. A new voice joined the discussion, a representative from a species resembling articulated crystalline structures that chimed softly when they moved. This raises an important precedent, the crystalline being noted. If worlds can hide their true technological level, how can proper classifications be maintained? The Consortium's actions, while perhaps presumptuous, followed established protocols based on available information. General Okafor spoke next. With respect, that perspective places the burden on developing worlds to reveal themselves, rather than on spacefaring powers to approach with caution and respect. Should every emerging civilization be required to broadcast their capabilities to potential exploiters? The debate continued for hours, with various council members raising points about sovereignty, first contact protocols, and the ethics of resource extraction. Throughout it all, Elena observed that the council seemed divided along lines that suggested long-standing political alliances and rivalries. Finally, she requested permission to present additional evidence. "Honorable Council," Elena said, "in the Valkyrie vessels we disabled, we discovered something disturbing." She activated a new holographic display showing records from the Valkyrie ships. These logs detailed dozens of similar resource acquisition operations on worlds the consortium deemed too primitive to resist. Many of these civilizations suffered ecological damage and resource depletion without ever knowing who was responsible. The chamber fell silent as the evidence was displayed. Maps showed systematic exploitation across multiple star systems, with clinical assessments of each world's inability to detect or resist the extractions. Earth fought back, not just for ourselves, Elena continued, her voice echoing in the silence, but for every world that couldn't. The consortium's practices violate the most fundamental ethical principle: respect for the sovereignty and development of sentient species. Vorzax's gemstone eyes flashed with rage. These internal records were obtained through acts of war. They cannot be considered valid evidence. The method of acquisition doesn't change their authenticity, Elena countered, and the pattern they reveal is clear. Elder Terra and the council leadership conferred privately for several minutes before addressing the chamber again. This council was established to promote peaceful cooperation among spacefaring civilizations. Elder Terra began. "The Valkyrie Consortium has operated at the edges of our protocols for some time, but these records suggest systematic violations of principles this council holds sacred." The Eldurian turned toward the Earth delegation. "Equally concerning is Earth's deliberate concealment of its capabilities. While understandable given your isolation, such deception complicates peaceful integration into the galactic community." After another moment of consideration, Elder Terra announced the Council's decision. "The Valkyrie Consortium is hereby sanctioned for unauthorized resource extraction and violations of first contact protocols. All operations in the Sol system must cease immediately, and reparations must be paid for resources already extracted." Vorzax began to protest, but Elder Terra continued. "Earth is recognized as a sovereign power with full rights to its home system. However, the Council requires full disclosure of Earth's technological capabilities and military assets as a condition of continued recognition." Elder Terra's form seemed to shimmer with emphasis. "Furthermore, a Council observation post will be established at the edge of the Sol system to monitor compliance from both parties and facilitate Earth's integration into galactic civilization." Elena exchanged glances with her colleagues before responding. "Earth accepts these terms, with the condition that our defensive capabilities remain classified except to a limited Council Security Committee. We cannot expose ourselves to potential aggressors." After some deliberation, the Council agreed to this amendment. As the session concluded, representatives from dozens of species approached the Earth delegation. Some expressed concern over humanity's hidden militarization, while others seemed impressed by Earth's ability to stand against the consortium. A few quietly mentioned their own world's experiences with Valkyrie exploitation. A small delegation of Eldurians approached Elena as the chamber cleared. "Your species is unusual," said one whose layers shifted in patterns different from Elder Terra's. "Most developing worlds either announce themselves prematurely or remain vulnerable. Your preparation is unprecedented. Humanity has always been divided on whether visitors from the stars would come as friends or conquerors," Elena explained. "So we prepared for both possibilities. A wise precaution," the Eldurian acknowledged. "But now you face a greater challenge." "What's that?" asked Captain Chen. "Integration without isolation. Protection without paranoia. You've demonstrated your strength. Now you must demonstrate your wisdom." Later, aboard the Earth vessel Prometheus that had brought them to the Council station, Elena sat with Maya and General Okafor, reviewing the day's events. "It could have gone worse," Okafor said, leaning back in his chair. "We've secured recognition of our sovereignty and exposed the consortium's practices." Maya nodded. But we've also revealed ourselves fully now. The advantage of surprise is gone. Perhaps we don't need it anymore, Alina suggested. We've demonstrated that humanity won't be easily conquered or exploited. Now we have the opportunity to build alliances, exchange knowledge, join trade networks, and learn which other powers might pose threats, Okafor added pragmatically. Alina smiled. Always the strategist, David. But yes, that too. Their conversation was interrupted by Lieutenant Ortiz, who entered with an urgent report. Ambassador, we're receiving diplomatic contact requests from 17 different civilizations. 3 have offered technology exchanges, 5 want trade agreements, and the rest are requesting cultural information exchanges. Maya laughed. It seems word travels fast about the species that stood up to the consortium. Should I begin scheduling meetings? Ortiz asked. Alina nodded. Yes, but prioritize the cultural exchanges first. We need to understand our new neighbors before we start making deals with them. As Ortiz left, Alina turned back to her colleagues. Humanity prepared for centuries, expecting the worst from the stars. We built weapons, shields, and hidden fortresses. But perhaps what we truly needed to prepare was this. She gestured to herself and her companions. Our ability to stand together, to represent our values, to join a larger community without losing ourselves. Through the viewport, the crystalline structure of the council chamber gleamed against the backdrop of 3 suns and countless stars, a cosmos that now knew of Earth and its people. Humanity had defended its home, and in doing so, earned its place among the stars not as victims or aggressors, but as equals. The journey ahead would be challenging, filled with diplomatic complexities, cultural exchanges, and likely more confrontations. But humanity had proven itself resilient, prepared, and unwilling to be subjugated. Word would spread through the galaxy. The species from Terra was not to be underestimated. And somewhere in the vast reaches of space, other primitive worlds continued their own development, unaware of the predators that circled, or of the new defender that might stand between them and exploitation. As Maya gazed out at the stars, she wondered how many other civilizations had faced the consortium alone, without Earth's paranoid preparation or hidden defenses. The thought strengthened her resolve for the work ahead. Humanity had found its place in the galaxy, and in doing so, perhaps discovered its purpose as well.